Okay, so when you sit there with some people and they start talking about something that you know so well, and you hear them, they are wrong, just straight up wrong in what they say. So you come there, you speak to them, you say, oh no, that's wrong, that's wrong. This is how it is. This is the fact, the objective truth. And they get upset. And they resent you. And they barely like you from now on. Why? You presented the fact, right? You said what is the objective truth. How can anyone be upset about that? Dale Carnegie writes in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that the best way to get the most of an argument is to avoid it. And absolutely. At the same time, you shouldn't be worried about arguments. You shouldn't be afraid of having disagreements with people. But yes, if you can, you should avoid them. But so what if you sit there and you hear people talk about something that you want to tell them in a better way? You want to get them to understand because it's something that you're either very passionate about or that you know could benefit them if they do the right thing. Okay, way back, I think in March, we had a group project here in university, and me and two other people, we're sitting there, we're working on our stuff, preparing for the deadline, etc. And I hear these people talk about food and what it does to you, and that they can't work in the morning. And I had at the time just watched an episode of Andrew Huberman, Stanford professor, great at neurobiology, I think it is, and a neuroscientist, I don't know really. And he had said in this video that if you eat in the morning, you're gonna destroy your productivity. And I think it is because it takes a lot of energy from that could have gone to your brain to digest the food. So I told these guys, especially one of them, I told him, hey, you shouldn't eat in the morning. Eating destroys productivity. You should fast in the morning. Food early on is bad for you. So I presented this as a fact. As it was a fact. I believe in Andrew Huberman. I've read it perhaps 100 times since then. So there's no denying that I was right about this. But this guy, he started to say that, oh, what, that's how it is. You can't know that, and what are you saying, and all this. He clearly resented me for just going at him, just saying this is how it is. It didn't do me any good because I didn't manage to tell him that you shouldn't eat in the morning. It didn't do him any good either because he didn't start to fast in the morning. And more importantly, it put a little tension in the air. When you've had an argument with someone, you're not really sure if you should. You can kind of feel it. You can tap it in the air, this tension. And of course, I felt very bad afterwards. But at the same time, I was confused. Like, hey, I said something that I know is right. Yet he got upset. So this is the thing. You may think that it's right. In fact, you may know that it's right with 100% certainty. But you should never ever present anything as facts or as the objective truth. So Dale Carnegie writes in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that instead of going out and saying that you're right, that this is how it is, you should present it as something that could be right, as an opinion, as something you heard. So instead of saying, this is how it is, say, I heard it could be this way. Oh, from what I've heard, this thing is right. From what I heard, you should fast in the morning because otherwise you destroy your productivity. Or, I could be wrong, but fasting is going to lead to an increased productivity, and eating in the morning is not good for you. And I mean, people disagree with all sorts of things these days, but who can argue against you when you say, I could be wrong? Yes, you could be wrong. You could be right. And that's the point. Someone can start an argument based on that. And if you present it like that, it's something you heard, something that could be right. No one's gonna attack you, because it's not you. You are not the source of the information in the same way as if you say, oh, this is how it is. Because when you present something as a fact and people, they go after it, it's you they're going after. It's you that is this thing you said. But when you instead present it as something that, oh, I may be wrong, but this is what I've heard, it's not you that they're disagreeing with. It's the thing you just said. And also, if you say, I could be wrong, but okay, if they disagree with it, then you can have a discussion around it. They won't have any hard feelings against you, and you can just talk to each other and try to make each other understand each other's viewpoint. To the contrary, if you go out and you go against someone, you say, this is how it is, then they're attacking you, not just your argument. So this is a great way of dealing with people, avoiding arguments, and in the end, making more friends and connecting better with people. Okay, so try to avoid as many arguments as possible, but do not be afraid of disagreements when you have something important to say or something that you really want to get off your chest. So present it as something that could be right, and you are way better off. Hopefully, this can now help you out a ton, because we don't want arguments. They don't feel good in us. Even if we win an argument, let's say, and we prove someone wrong, it's not going to feel that good inside of us. Because we thrive when us and other people around us feel good, especially if they do it because of us. And on the contrary, we feel especially worse, especially bad, if people feel bad because of us. So with this principle in mind, I'm leaving you now, and I will see you again.